everyone, and welcome to the PT and ICE Daily Show. My name is Christina Prevett, and I am one of the lead team in our cover. It was not something that I wanted to do. A show. You all have seen me on the podcast now for a while. You know that my start and my love is working in focus on with rehab and group fitness wellness for individuals with complexities, with the idea of removing barriers necessary to this health and wellness space. And you know that fits the bias at ICE really beautifully because we truly believe in preventative healthcare versus our sick care system that we currently have. And part of that was to do a scoping review around where therapists could be involved. And I meant that as a primary and secondary prevention aim, so not one that's already been established, but to really think about population level health. And working and isolating at risk factors like blood pressure. But one of the other things that came up really strongly in the evidence base was around perinatal care. And so a lot of people go into pelvic PT around their own experiences, and that was actually not the case for me. And so then let's try and get exercise. And so we guys in Canada, we have a year of maternity leave. So a lot of first year when their babies in, it was great. I was kind of in a period of my life where my husband and I were talking about having kids. So I got exposure and their experience, got to talk through the kids. Was not until, and this is back in 2019. And I was still adamant that I was not going to train. And here's why. I had this belief we need those people going in pelvic. So I had videos, but I really, truly, I love. I saw a lot of people with complexities and that 18. So I must have started this script at 17. So we're here now. In 2018, I was a national level weightlifter and I got pregnant. And we got pregnant faster than we thought we were going to, which is such not worried about categories. And I remember the first time I went around exercise and feel. And in a research program with a high-risk fetal medicine physician and obstetrician, and we were doing referrals back and forth for individuals. Whole other conversation. You are going to be fine. And my fear melted. And I will never not be grateful for that connection. And in that moment, I realized one fear we can have around by somebody in PT to this space. Interaction where I just didn't want to do only in assessment. But I really wanted to start towards this fitness. I'd been doing Strong Like Mom for a couple of years. I was a national level weightlifter on Instagram and social media. I was getting comments about my body prolapsing and like all these things that I was interacting with other pelvic PTs. They were the prolapse. They were the ones who were saying, this is not them, because that is truly what we believed and what we were taught in our training. We have come so far to move away from that narrative, but that was where the narrative was in 2018. And my staff member, who was an internal trained PT, and I went exactly, and being in this space, we got to go over a little bit in this live course. I'm talking about how to load the core, and it for me became this teaching moment. And this was in 2018, 2019. And a moment. And even then, seen such results. I know this is for work I need it, for looking at the work I need it, for looking at these and not again. So I was very, and it was just, it was, I was, I was like, I'm not going to bridge that gap. There's probably one thing where it switched. It switched when I realized that I could do pelvic PT with. I have to be a person who loves looking in order to be that very quickly often can start in pregnancy because they want to protect to look for what is wrong and try and mitigate those risks. And I recognize that in order for a frontline person to be able to mitigate that messaging, in 2019, I went back and the training was fantastic. I loved it, but it taught me the assessment. I spent a lot of time on the assessment. I was so thankful and had to vary. And so our online course was very focused on certain techniques, was my expertise in our toolbox. It is not, build more experience in individuals with pain. But it is not who pelvic PT is. And when I removed that expectation, yeah, 100% this. When I removed that expectation that that is what my job was, that is what defined this beautiful area of our profession. And I blend my orthopedic knowledge all the time. I use the information from the internal assessment to provide education. And as we were doing, and as Alexis was coming into our division and all these things were happening, I realized that our online course would not be able to bridge from line spine to this. You were having this distance. Professionals who felt very good about being able to have all these movements, interact with these different conditions, and then we have PT who are to getting individuals running and playing and expressing with different planes of movement and different unexpected in 2020. And I 20. And I know that people teach the foundations of the internal, but we teach it in the morning of the first day because it is a tool in our toolbox. It gives us tons of information. It allows us to get some orientation. And then we go into the standing assessment. And from there, we bridge. And we spend the rest of the weekend bridging. We need to use the internal absolutely pivotal. We need to do that and fit. We are not just pelvic PTs. We are pelvic forward. Trained pelvic PT in my practice every single week. I'm practicing right now, and it gives me so much insight. My PT is the function. That is the soul that when I share my soul, that somebody resonates with it. Somebody hesitated and said, the core pain or abdominal pain, you're interacting with it. You're interacting with, if you are, we have so many live courses coming up over the beginning of 2024. I'm going to be in Raleigh, North Carolina. We only have 3 spots left for that course this weekend in Hendersonville. And then beginning of February, I am in Bellingham, Washington, doing all pelvic PT. So if you are interested, let us know. Otherwise, have a really wonderful start to your week, and we will talk to you all soon.